गुड इवनिंग फ्रेंड, स्टडी विद अपाला इंजीनियरिंग एंड जनरल जियोलॉजी परवीन सिंह बुक। तो हम लोगों का मास मूवमेंट चैप्टर 20 चल रहा है और इसे लैंडस्लाइड भी कहते हैं। मास में मतलब है कि सारी चीजें आ जाती हैं इंक्लूडेड। तो नोट ऑन टाइप्स ऑफ मास मूवमेंट। सॉइल क्रीप, it is a types of slow flows and consist of gradual almost imperceptible downslopes transit of soils and may sometimes take place even under the cover of vegetation, and the rate of downgrade movement may vary from 1 millimeters to several centimeters a year. In most cases, soil creep is essentially a surface phenomenon in which only the top 1 meters or so of the soil is involved in the failures. Talus creep is a variety of soil creep in which movement is relatively fast, 10 centimeter or 10 centimeter a year or more, and the materials involved is mostly made up of a rock fragment and talus. Soil creep, तो ये फिगर है, इसमें 1 दिखाता है कि डाउनवर्ड बेंडिंग्स ऑफ स्ट्रेटा, 2 अपवर्ड कर्वेचर्स ऑफ ट्री ट्रंक, 3rd डिसलोकेशन ऑफ पोल्स, एंड 4th इज breakings of fences wall its. So please make a diagram with labeling. It give you more mark. Soil creep may take place in diverse types of climates, but is particularly common on cold, humid slopes and frost actions. Forward soil creep, in particular, water seepings in the pores of the soils during autumn freeze in the following winter, thereby expanding and having up the soils against the shearing strength. Soils at the top is thus almost destroyed. Similarly, repeated expansion and contractions or drying or wetties may result in breaking the soils to loose grains that can be displaced downgrade though slowly under the pull of gravity's meltings of ice crystals formed during frostings may further facilitate downgrade transit of soils loosened in this way. With the passage of time, soil creep may succeed in bringing down huge quantities of soil mass that get accumulated at the base of the slope. The slow movement of soil's mass under these types of failures is generally difficult to be detected at first instance, as a careful observation of the telltale effect like bendings down slopes of the tops of weathered bedrocks, outcrops under the soils covers, dislodgement of the telegraph poles in the area, and upslopes curvatures of tree stems and bulging of retaining walls and similar structures may indicate the soil cover as a creep down slope. Solifluctions, it is also a slow flow is the types mass movement is similar to soil creeps in many characters, but is essentially a freeze thaw phenomenon. As such as solifluctions type of failure is localized in periglacial environments where it is considered main types of soils destructions process. Solidifications differs from soil creep in water content. In solifluctions, the soil's movement occurs in almost saturated conditions, whereas the soil's creep may start without much water. Due to presence of enough water, solifluctions may take place in very gentle slopes. It is a characteristics of permafrost regions. Example regions of extremely cold humid climates where soils at some depth below the surface remains in permanently frozen state. In these regions, frozen water melt only in the upper layer of the soil during the summers, and as it cannot penetrate down because of freezing conditions, most of it is used up in saturating the upper layers of soils, thereby reducing its shearing strength considerably. With the events of very gentle slopes being available, soil grains start a slow imperceptible downgrade journeys is in associations with water. Porous and consolidated soils are particularly susceptible to failures by soil fluctuations. The terms solifluctions, फ्लक्चुएशन भी कह सकते हैं, सॉइल के जैसे है फ्लक्चुएशन हो रहा है वही है. तो fluctuations is also sometimes extending to slow movement of a blanket of a soil. यानी कि यही सॉइल डायरेक्ट ना कहे क्योंकि सोलिफ्लक्शन कह रहे हैं, सोलिफ्लक्चुएशन तो है. एंड fragmental rock accumulations resulting from chemical and mechanical weathering in other climates, especially when such movement happens to occur after rain, so that near saturation conditions are achieved. It is better, however, to reserve the use of these terms to soil failures at imperceptible rate that are related to freeze thaw conditions. The term stone streams has been used for liner concentrations of stones of diverse dimensions that get moved along with the soils during solifluction and are slid along the valleys floors or on the lower slopes. Earth and mud flow. So these are rapid types of mass movement confined mostly to open textured soils or unconsolidated rocks, which take place usually after heavy meltings of snow and ice. Materials most likely to fail by these methods are clays and silts or soils rich in these components. Clays on becoming wet are rendered plastic and start slipping under their own land. In the presence of waters, the terms earth flow and mud flow simply distinguish two types of the same failures with the different water content. In mud flows, the quantity of the water per unit volumes of the soil mass is so high and that the whole mass is reduced to a slush or mud. This can flows on any slope between 1 degree to 25 degree. The earth and mud flows are, however, seasonal phenomenon. Slides. As I already defined, a true slides is a type of mass failures in which a body of a superficial mass fail along a definite surface of shear. This failure surface may be planar, curved, or semicircular in nature. In actual practice, however, slides may be a very complex phenomenon. Although slide satisfying the above definitions are also by no means rare. In figures are shown important parts of a typical slides. The terms being self-explanatory, failures may take place at the base or toe or along the slopes of the ground. So, in figure, slide terminology: S stratification, FS failure surface, toe and slide, this heel and this, FS this failure surface. S indicates stratifications. So please make a diagram. The surface failures may be the result of operations of number of factors already discussed, such as internal stresses developing due to the pull of gravity or an original plane of weakness inclined towards free sides of the valleys or steepenings of the slopes by undercuttings or overloading at the slopes. It's when water happens to reach this surface of shears or vibrations due to natural or artificial causes overcomes the last part of the frictional forces. The mass start sliding aspect that shear surface It is often customary to recognize heels and toes and a base involved in sliding. However, it may not be always possible to establish these reasons in every slide because of the complex nature of the problems. The heel is the upper limit of the failing's mass above which the mass is assumed to be stable or not involved in failure. The toe is the lower limit of the failing mass intersecting the slopes. The base is the deepest region up to which the involved mass has been established and as unstable. In simple case, by joining these positions, are rough ideas of natures of failure. Surface planars or curved could be obtained. In unconsolidated and incoherent mass, the shear surface is usually curved or semicircular, whereas in hard massive rock, it is generally planar in nature. In the latter case, however, some original natural planes of weakness such as beddings planes, shear zones, joint sets, fault plane, cleavage foliations, and cystosity zone may become effective planes of slippage, and especially when they are closely spaced and or are critically inclined or get profusely lubricated. Slides are sometimes further differentiated into following types on the basis of material involved and nature of failure. Rock slides, when the mass involved in sliding is a compact rocks, the failure is termed a rock slide. In most rocks slides, the failure is translational in nature, indicating a planar and surface of failures. The failings mass may be in the form of blocks and block slides that may slip down slopes along some beddings, planes, or shear zones or clay layer. It may also be made up of huge mass of weathered rock, may be uncemented but acting as slabs in the failure process. Slab slides and strata containing intervening layers of clay and having dipped towards the valleys are the likely spot for rock slides. Rockfall, this is a typical phenomenon common in steep slopes where protective cover of soils and mantle has not been allowed to accumulate. The original jointed or fractured natures of rocks facilitate failures or toppling in some cold countries. Such falls are common, almost a seasonal phenomenon. In Norway, for instance, rocks falls occurs. Cleft waters, that is the water produced due to thawings of ice crystals formed during preceding winters in the cracks and creeps in the top layer of a jointed rock. Similar falls are not infrequent in Kashmir, Himalayas, where they cause is blockade of national highway during spring. The Sahitani Nahal Patane Devi Brook falls near Banihal on these highways are textbook type examples. Rock falls at this मतलब जो इस बुक में दिए गए हैं. Steep slopes have caused numerous traffic accidents in the past. So rock slide, rock falls and debris slide falls. तो ये पिक्चर है, बनाइएगा. Thank you. Please give a positive response.